Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to another video, and today we'll be talking about Kansas State versus BYU in Provo for conference play, the first conference game of each of them, and that'll be coming up right after this. Just Justin. I am Justin, and yes, we'll be talking about the Kansas State BYU game that played last night. I'm actually coming to you from Victoria, British Columbia today, and so let's go ahead and talk about the game. I've been trying to get this out here all day. I wanted to do it up on the deck or on my balcony, but it's been raining and windy. But this is nice. It's finally cleared up here in Victoria. But let's go ahead and let's take a look at the game. All right, so the game was played at LaVell Edwards Stadium. So BYU and Kansas State have a record of, they played 9 times. Kansas State has won 4 of them, all at home. BYU's won all of them at home, but one. They won in the Cotton Bowl against Kansas State. So yes, they both play very super good at home, but BYU currently leads the series. They're on a 3-game winning streak. So yes, so Kansas State, they come into LaVell Edwards Stadium as the number 13 ranked team in the country. They handled Arizona pretty good last week, and so it was interesting. That Arizona game was not a Big 12 game, so we're fine with that. But they kind of pushed Arizona around at home, but they came into LaVell Edwards Stadium here in Provo, and they actually were holding BYU's offense. BYU's offense has been struggling lately, but if you look at it, BYU's defense has been really super strong this year. You know, yeah, Jay Hill had a heart attack 2 days before the game opener, and he's been back in the booth and stuff, and I think the defense is actually playing for him. And so they've only held Kansas State to 2 field goals during the first half. So yeah, it was 6-0 coming into the second quarter. Now, of course I didn't go to it because I'm here, but I couldn't watch it. I couldn't catch it until after the Tennessee game was over with against Oklahoma Sooners. Wow, that was a great SEC showing for Oklahoma, but that's all right. But yeah, so it switched over to the BYU game, and BYU was down, and we were like, what the heck, man? What's going on, BYU? BYU went down after they kicked the field goal. The Kansas State had it. They came back, and they fumbled the ball. And so BYU picked it up, ran it in for 6 points. Okay, extra point was good, so that put it at 10-3. And then shortly after that, Kansas State had the ball again, and Johnson, the quarterback for Kansas State, he threw his first career interception of his career to none other than Batty. He caught it, fell on the ground. Well, it was almost on the ground when he got it, but he caught it, intercepted it, and then Ratzlaff threw he threw a dart to Chase Roberts in the end zone to put BYU up 17-6 going into halftime. All right, and then Kansas State had the ball first in the second half, which was fine. Within 58 seconds, the first 58 seconds, he threw his second interception of the game and his career, and BYU got it, and they went down. And then BYU went down, and Retzlaff threw a dart over the middle to Lassiter to make it 24-6. All right, so BYU is like completely in control of this game right now. All right, and so Kansas State was just I don't know what happened to him. Okay, and then BYU kicked it off to Kansas State. They went, Kansas State was going down, and they had to punt it. All right, so when Kansas State punted the ball, it looked like, oh my gosh, it was a mess up, and Kansas State was going to recover it like on the 10-yard line. Nope. BYU picked it up. Let me see here. Yes, it was Kingston. He picked it up and he ran a 90-yard punt return for a touchdown. And that put BYU up 31-6. Okay? Now, yes, 31-6. And people were thinking that BYU was going to lose this game, but nope, it was up 31-6. But then Kansas State came back down. They kicked a field goal. There was a controversial call. It looked like the quarterback stepped out of bounds before he made it into the end zone with the ball over the pylon, but it was a holding penalty, so it got called back anyway. And so that's when they kicked the field goal and went from 6-9. So it was 31-9. And then the last score of the game was from the running back. BYU's had a problem with running backs because there's 2 injured. So S. Moa stepped up, and he's a little guy, man. He's just a little guy. And he powered his way into the end zone to put BYU on top 39 and Kansas State 9. So, yes, that was an excellent game. Now, let me look at a stat right here real quick. Okay, Kansas State dominated in almost every single stat. We had more passing yards, but they had more total yards. But this one right here, these 3 that I'm looking at, okay? Penalties, 8 for 50 for Kansas State. BYU, 2 for 20. One of them was on purpose. The other one was just a stupid play on the defense. Personal foul on the quarterback. Fumbles lost, 1 for Kansas State, 0 for BYU. Interceptions, 2 for Kansas State, 0 for BYU. And the time of possession, 33 minutes and 3 seconds for Kansas State, and 26 minutes and 57 seconds for BYU. But here's one more stat, I promise this will be the last stat. Plays of the games, total plays. Kansas State was 72. BYU was 48. So yes, the defense definitely stepped up this game. Basically won it again for the Cougars, okay? The offense is still struggling, but once they can get on track, it'll be the BYU of old. And actually, BYU moved into the top 25 this week. I do believe it's number 22. But yeah, so that is excellent for BYU. They've gone 4-0 so far. They play Baylor next week in Baylor. I'm not sure of the time. It was announced, but I don't have very good internet out here. But I will put that down in the description when I get the time. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this recap of the BYU Kansas State game. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. It'll push it out to more people who care about the Big 12, BYU, Kansas State. And, you know, this is all my opinion, okay? But yeah, you know, I'd really appreciate it. And also, if you guys would subscribe to the channel, I've got a lot more videos coming out about BYU. I've got a Cooking with Justin series. I've got a Carnivore Diet series. I just got random videos about me, Justin, okay? And, you know, hit that bell notification so you'll be notified as soon as I publish a video. All right, guys? So, yes, that was an excellent game. I wish I could have gone to it. Both my kids went to it. And, yes, I wish I could have gone to it. But as you can see, I'm here in Victoria, British Columbia. I've been out on the high sea. So, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's really high. Yeah, it was actually high seas because yesterday the ship was like rocking because it was so bad. But yes, so yes, I couldn't go to the Kansas State game. I probably won't make it to the Baylor game because it is in Texas. But until then, you guys, I will see you later. And remember, go BYU.